Another interesting component of the chart of the full moon, before we dive deep into the aspects here, is that this Aquarius full moon highlights the natal chart of the United States of America. July 4th, 1776, 5:10 p.m., the time of the signing of the Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I'm based. The USA was literally born out of a revolution. If you've never read the US Constitution or visited the Constitution Center right here in Philadelphia, I encourage you to do so. If we look at the natal chart for the United States of America, it has its natal moon 27 degrees 10 arc minutes Aquarius, exactly on this full moon. Only 4 to 5 arc minutes away, since the August Aquarius full moon happens 27 degrees 14 arc minutes Aquarius. This means that this full supermoon in Aquarius is a return to the energies under which the United States Declaration of Independence was signed and ratified. This is powerful stuff. It's even more powerful when you consider that the United States of America broke away from the monarchy due to unfair taxation without representation. Many would say that we traded the monarchy system for a democracy that essentially operates in the very same way, benefiting the wealthy top 2% instead of the people. I'm based out of the greater Philadelphia area, so I'll be right here to report everything to you, as Philadelphia is going to be a hotspot for the age of Aquarius. This full moon is coinciding not only with a Mercury cazimi, but the Democratic National Convention. With the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, the DNC for short, starting the day of an Aquarius full supermoon, Mercury cazimi, and with both squaring off against unpredictable Uranus, there will be many twists and turns coming into this United States presidential election. This full moon is coinciding not only with a Mercury cazimi, but it's a T-square in fixed signs, making this a very challenging fixed T-square, focused on Uranus and Taurus, on demon star Algol. The fixed square is formed between the opposition between the full moon 27 degrees Aquarius and the Sun conjunct Mercury on the tail of Mercury cazimi, 27 and 26 degrees Leo. Full moons always present an opposition between the sun and the moon, which is what allows the moon to reflect the light of the sun back to us from our Earth-based perspective. This can only happen when the sun and moon are traveling through opposite parts of the sky or universe. And with any opposition, confrontation leads to evolution. The key to unlocking any T-square is in not only balancing that core opposition, but by focusing on the planet that opposition is squaring off against, or converging on, which in this case is Uranus 27 degrees Taurus, and on what's missing directly opposite that, 27 degrees Scorpio. I'll break it down. Uranus 27 degrees Taurus is still conjunct demon fixed star Algol, where we had that incredibly turbulent Mars-Uranus conjunction back in the middle of July, on July 15th, coinciding with the first assassination attempt on presidential candidate and former president Donald Trump. Uranus stays conjunct to demon star Algol for an extended period of time within a 2-degree orb, a very tight conjunction. Algol, which is fixed at 26 degrees 10 arc minutes of Taurus, has an orb of 2 degrees 10 arc minutes. So this covers the territory from 24 to 28 degrees 20 arc minutes of Taurus. Uranus is in this territory from June until December 2024, so nearly half of 2024. A very extended stay. Uranus will station retrograde on Monday, September 2nd, 2024, Labor Day here in the United States of America, and the same day that Pluto retrograde returns to 29 degrees Capricorn for the last time in our lifetime. This is also the final 2 days of Neptune retrograde 29 degrees Pisces for the year, putting both Pluto and Neptune at the critical anaretic 29th degree of their respective signs simultaneously for 2 days consecutively. Both 29 degrees and 28 degrees of Pisces are considered heavy degrees associated with unaliving by water, red rum, and self-inflicted unaliving. 27 degrees Leo, where the sun is under this Aquarius full moon, has ties to sudden unaliving by poisoning or drowning. And 26 degrees Leo, where Mercury cazimi occurred, coinciding with the Aquarius full moon, has ties to bodily attack and unaliving through acts of violence. 26 degrees Leo is precisely where Donald Trump has his Mars in the 12th house, rising Mars in his 12th house, the house of self-undoing and the afterlife, conjunct his ascendant. Fixed demon star Algol, where Uranus is for this extended stay for more than half of 2024, is associated with people losing their heads, literally and figuratively. Literally as in the myth of the Gorgon Medusa, and as in during the French Revolution, which was also the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius, along with the American Revolution. We saw an homage to this during the opening ceremony of the Summer 2024 Olympics in Paris. So Uranus will be on demon star Algol for several months, and even into early 2025. And we will revisit that energy again post-retrograde, once Uranus stations direct. Uranus will be conjunct Algol from March until June of 2025, prior to dipping its toes into the early degrees of Gemini from July to November 2025, and then will return to Algol territory from December 2025 until April 2026, while Neptune and Saturn travel across 29 degrees Pisces and into 0 degrees Aries. More on that to come. Historically, every time Uranus travels through Gemini, it coincides with U.S. involvement in a major war. And Aries is the sign of the warrior archetype, ruled by Mars. So get ready. The nature of Uranus is that it's unpredictable. Uranus is the great awakener. It throws curveballs and sudden changes that ultimately serve to liberate us from our dependencies and attachments on the quest to self-actualization and autonomy. This is especially true when Uranus is in fixed Earth sign Taurus, where Uranus is debilitated and incredibly uncomfortable. The nature of the two energies conflicts. Uranus loves and thrives off of change, while Taurus sees change as a fixed Earth sign. It sees change as threatening to the very stability it builds its peace, self-confidence, and self-esteem upon, especially considering that Venus, the ruling planet for Uranus while Uranus is in Taurus, already squared off against Uranus on August 2nd, just days prior to the new moon in Leo. Prepare for sudden changes and curveballs to Venus-ruled things, your resources, your money, your assets, your job, and your interpersonal relationships. Uranus has a lot to do with electricity and electrical charges, and heightened seismic activity. At the time of recording this video, August 9th and 10th, we had several earthquakes, hundreds of earthquakes in Southern California, and Japan experienced a significant over 7 magnitude earthquake. We could see cyber attacks, hacking, aviation dislocation, power outages, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, tsunamis in the aftermath, literal, financial, and metaphorical earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Uranus, as we said, is the great awakener, urging you to align with your dharma, or life path and soul purpose. It's Leo season with Mercury retrograde in Leo, bringing big drama. More on Mercury retrograde, it's in 2 signs, Virgo and Leo. And whenever Mercury retrograde changes signs, it symbolizes a major change of mind, heart, or direction. It's in an exact T-square, with all 3 planets exactly 27 degrees of their respective signs. 27 degrees, like we said before, in degree astrology, is a Gemini degree, which focuses on curiosity, learning, gathering information, communication, writing, and any form of sharing information. Mercury rules the Gemini degrees, including this 27th degree, so there will be a strong Gemini sub-flavor to the energy, and it's pointing us back to what's happening in the alignment with Mars activating Jupiter in the middle or heart of Gemini, 16 degrees Gemini. This is also pointing us back to Mercury cazimi, which is conjunct the Sun and forming a yod with inconjuncts to Neptune and Pluto. This full moon happens on fixed star Gina, 27 degrees, 44 arc minutes, Aquarius, which is part of the constellation Cygnus, the Swan. Cygnus is a very large constellation spanning 60 degrees of the zodiacal wheel, falling in both zodiacal signs, Aquarius and Pisces. Gina comes from the Arabic word for the right wing of the raven, or crow, and crows and ravens symbolize transformation as a spirit totem. In Greek mythology, the constellation Gina falls in is associated with crater, which comes from the Latin word for cup, or vessel, and Hydra, which comes from the Latin word for water snake. According to mythology, the sun god Apollo sent the crow to fetch a cup or vessel of water to be used in a sacrifice for the greater good. In classical times, Cygnus, the swan, was seen as a dreaded constellation, and it was seen to be hostile to all things in the air. Modern times would include aviation and space exploration. Gina specifically is associated with a great rise to power, followed by a sudden, unexpected, great fall. The swan is doing a swan dive in the picture of the constellation. This full moon peaks 27 degrees, 14 arc minutes, Aquarius. So directly opposite that, we see a cluster of fixed stars in Leo. Alfred, 27 degrees, 17 minutes, Leo. Aldefarah, 27 degrees, 34 arc minutes, Leo. And Al-Jaba, 27 degrees, 54 arc minutes, Leo. Forgive me, I don't speak Arabic, so I'm trying my best here. Beginning with fixed star Alphard, also known as Alpha Hydra, it's a single star in the constellation of the water snake, the very same Hydra constellation connected to Gina and Cygnus. The traditional name Alphard is from Alphard, Al-Shua, translating from Arabic for the solitary one in the snake. This is because Alphard is the only bright star in the empty-looking region below that Leo constellation. It has also been called more commonly as Cor Hydra, the heart of the water snake, or Hydra. Alfred is associated with sudden unaliving by drowning, poison, or asphyxiation. And when it's negatively aspected, it can bestow troubles, losses, anxiety, intemperance, turbulence, strong passion, scandal, and a lack of self-control that leads to suffering and self-destruction. Aldefarah, located 27 degrees 34 arc minutes, the constellation Leo, is a double star located in the mane of the lion. It has been called Al-Surfa, meaning funeral pyre. This star is said to be of the nature of both Mercury and Saturn, with ties to self-unaliving, poison, corrosive acids, liquid fire, liquid explosion, lying, scandal, stealing, and other forms of crime. Aljaba, located 27 degrees 54 arc minutes Leo, is also a variable and double star in the main of the lion. Its origins come from Arabic aljaba, for forehead, as the star is positioned near the forehead in the lion's mane. Aljaba is of the nature of Mercury and Saturn and can bestow many dangers: the potential for loss, scandal, a violent and intemperate or intolerant nature, and to anyone in the military, mutiny. That opposition is squaring off against an exact square to Uranus, planet of revolution and change, the Great Awakener, still conjunct Algol, 26 degrees, the constellation Taurus. This is the Gorgon's head, and we're reminded to be careful of losing your cool or losing your head under these energies. Whenever there's a full moon in Aquarius, especially squaring its modern planetary ruler, Uranus, you can expect the unexpected. Detach from expectation as you do so. Remember what Shakespeare said: expectation is the root of all heartache. Don't break your own heart here. Thank you for watching. If you're still with me, you're a real one. Drop your current most used emoji in the comments. If you took anything away from this video, we ask that you like, comment, share the content, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, we know that you'll enjoy the full playlist and this additional video. Thank you so much, love you, and see you soon.